Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with the Super Dimension Fortress Macross Flashback 2012, which I have it on very good authority, may just be a 30-minute music video. But yeah, no, I think the quality of it is that it's supposed to merge the elements of Do You Remember Love and um, SDF Macross. I'm sorry, I didn't know what to call it there because it's just the name of the show.
Yeah.
Um, Together in a music video format with some extra scenes, if I'm correct.
It gives you a picture of what happens after both, I suppose. You know.
Right. Otherwise, though, I do believe we have. Now, yeah, technically we have one comment we can get into right now, which is just Oshiga from episode 13, Blue Wind, says, poor 19-year-old Misa constantly being called an old woman just because she is almost 3 years older than the main character always makes me chuckle.
Yeah, the ages in this series are a bit uncertain. You have to do a little wiki walk to find out exactly whose ages and what. And if you want to do that, fine, but you shouldn't have to, right? Although clearly Ikaru in the post-war period, he's just, he is drawn, like more buffed up and even a little bit taller. So yeah.
I don't know, because we do see him doing the boot camp thing in the original show, too.
Yeah, but usually the way they put the clothes and stuff like that is like, he's a little bit meek and more, while in the after they make sure that he's wearing like t-shirts and he's running and he's showing his guns all the time. So, well,
I
not
don't
all the
know.
time, but more often than not.
Maybe something you noticed. I didn't. I didn't really pick up
Yeah.
on that because he really just seemed kind of the puppy dog character, right? So I didn't really.
Yeah.
I didn't really
I
read
mean,
that to him, even as compared to like Rick Hunter, who was already a buff dude in
yeah.
every version we've ever seen of him.
And also they do kind of similar thing to Min May as well, to, draw her a little older as well, a little bit of longer hair, Of course, she's a star, so she's wearing more dresses and stuff like that. But uh,
Yeah, although I don't particularly know how you can. Sorry, I just realized my mind jumped into a different topic. I was about to say I don't know how you could really combine Do You Remember Love and the show together. Like, that has nothing to do with the 3 year time difference between Misa and Hikaru.
yeah, so he would be 19, I think 18 at most for
It's
Min
my
May, and
understanding
about
that they also have different ages in the movie.
yeah, and 2022 for Misa, because the war officially ends in 2012. So yeah,
Normally, I really do care more about the ages of things, but this is all relative to each other, and there's
yeah.
no huge difference. And like, if they, as a society, all agree that it's the social norm for them, whatever their ages are, and them being together, then I got not much to say. Although Kaifun is really throwing a wrench in that because they all decided that cousins and then brothers were fine. So I don't know
Well,
anymore.
the only thing is him forcing a kiss on Min May in the movie. So, and
Yeah,
she wasn't
yeah.
very happy about
No,
it. Yeah, he was like, "What the?"
he
He's
jumped
like,
on that one though. That
"Yeah."
was like
She's like,
that
"Ugh,"
was a grenade on the floor, and he was like, "Get back, it's mine."
and she was like, "Ugh, what are you doing?"
Yeah, there was no reason for that other than somebody wanted Kaifun to look a little bit more creepy than he did in the
Yeah,
show. Guess
and they didn't show Kai-Fu in the movie do much of anything other than being her producer,
yeah, because we put him in a suit,
bodyguard.
like a regular fucking
Yeah,
suit, and like
yeah,
different look altogether. No, he does show up at the very end though to push buttons
yeah,
while she's singing.
yeah. He's being the producing, doing the console thing. So okay, fine. He's
Ah,
there.
man, I can't wait for Kaifun to come back in the next series.
He didn't get killed though.
Yeah,
Damn, damn. Of all the people that got guns to their faces, because that happened a lot in the movie. Oh, let's show you exactly how this guy dies. Boom, giant cannon to the, and they did it like 3 or 4 times. So yeah.
yeah. Let's get on into it then.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, okay.
We're picking up right literally. Well, the movie ended with her tapping her feet.
Right, that's right. Although we're clearly not at the point anymore.
No.
Is
I
this the
also
same
like that we're
voice
gonna-
actress?
Yeah. No, I think it's May had her own singing voice, separate. Yeah.
Well, no,
I like
that's
the
what
ch-
I'm... Sorry, go ahead.
They had when they were doing the singing. I think in most Macross series they have singers that do the singing for them, right?
Right, no, I just... Well, what I meant is that the same voice actress that does her normal songs.
Yes, it is.
Because the very opening bit where we heard her voice sounded different than I've ever heard Min-Mei sound before. Even when she's singing.
Also, I love the Centrati who now have learned so much culture. They become musicians. They're drummers now.
I'm surprised they didn't English subtitle this. I kind of would expect
But
it to have been, though.
It is so 80s, though. From the clothing to the color palette to...
I don't know. Laser light shows typically are 70s affair.
the partially rebuilt Macross. So I guess this, in a way, will be the ultimate clip show.
Ah. Oh, thank God there is English subtitles. I was really worried that like maybe I had the wrong version or something. Okay, but this is from Do You Remember Love?
Yeah.
Red Moon? Right?
Yeah.
It's just a crazy choice not to subtitle the songs, though. This is the song, though, that she sings just before the war in the TV show, though. Or no, just after the Earth is destroyed. When she's looking out at the dead planet, as it were, and just starts singing a little to herself. No, I think this isn't Red Moon, is it?
This is Sunset Beach. They already said it.
Yeah, well, no, I said this is Red Moon, and you said yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because it kind of had the beginning beat of Red Moon, and it's like, no, then go to... That was just real balloons.
Yeah.
The beat has a little bit of the same... Oh, that's right, that's when the black hole appeared near the... I'm gonna say something.
Yeah,
Beach is not one of my favorites of hers.
No. Now, I love that this is mostly focused on Min-Mei, of course, but the movie really made me feel bad for Min-Mei. You know, it's like she just fell in love with this guy and then she got dumped because reasons.
I mean, I don't know. That is just the sign from Las Vegas. I don't know. I think I feel worse for her in the TV show, even though I was more of a Misa person on the TV show, because she gives up everything to be with him in the TV show. And then...
No, I don't think that's what happened. That's not my interpretation. My interpretation is she got tired of her life, ran away from it, and ran back to Hikaru.
She was
'cause
going
Hikaru was-
to give up everything. It's only
Yeah.
after Hikaru goes to me, so she's like, well, this fucking ain't working. And that's when I was about to make a 9/11 joke.
Yeah.
Cool, something else I possibly have to forget to censor. You know, this is going to be a hot take that the commenters are going to love, but I think for the majority of stuff, I actually might prefer the TV show's animation. Obviously, not when the people go cockeyed and shit. Obviously, not when the budget goes bad. But I just think, I don't know, they're brighter, they're more iconic in their look, and this is just a darker, more, I don't know, pencil sketch? I don't know how to describe it. I'm not an artist. Oh, it's good to see Mick Foley got work. I don't know, it might just be the brighter nature of the television show. I mean, even Kaifun. I prefer Kaifun in the television show versus this businessman Kaifun. See what I mean? It's just brighter. They got like a more energy to them.
But I do like the higher level definition that they put in on the movie.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it also looks like they said, hey, you know how Star Trek is eventually going to make everything dark and moody in every scene? What if we did that, but 20, 30, 40 years in the past? I certainly prefer TV Britai to movie Britai.
Oh, they put the happy song over all the death and destruction. You know, people getting blasted in the face. And yeah, okay, somebody really liked that smack. Smacking around Hikaru. Which he did deserve, right? It might be unfair, but he did deserve that smack.
I mean, this music video is literally just clips of the TV show and the movie next to each other.
True, but the choice of which ones they...
Is this the same song? No, it's not. Okay, I'm about to say, I don't remember the previous song merging into Xiao Pai Long.
No.
I think I made it clear. Xiao Pai Long is my favorite of the songs.
No, I think, again, preferring the movie, I think the song Do You Remember Love, well, of the Minmei songs, Do You Remember Love is my best. Of the soundtrack, Dogfight, which is every time they have a dogfight, of course, it's a music that's sort of the combat music, that's the one that I like the most. I mean, I do like it, it's catchy, but...
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not like any of the lyrics got me or anything. Maybe it's just the beat and the sound of the vocals with the beat is just the best version. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was from Phantasm, yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay. I guess anything that's crazy like that has to come from Phantasm. No, it's from Global Report when he was high on LSD. Global, this report makes no sense.
The thing is that animated Hikaru flying Genius Fighter got kissed by Minmei before he did kissed on the actual show.
Look, we're merging two timelines here that make no sense either way, so... I still can't believe that they started the show by not showing us the Earth's destruction. That is the money shot in any sci-fi movie. Okay, now we're back to Red Moon. As I did point it out, by the way, you were wrong. He did have a Misa poster in his room. You said that was Minmei, but literally the shot comes back and it's literally Misa's head and hair color. So, I don't know why they have a poster of Misa at all. I can only assume that her dad was trying to sell pilots or something. I don't know.
Also, they gave her more pointed ears for some reason.
which really confused me for a future reason that I can't discuss right now.
Well, I guess all of them had pointed ears in the show, and then they changed that around.
To be fair, we do share all the genetics with the Neutrati, so...
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess on top of my head, I would think it goes Xiao Pai Long, Red Moon. I don't know the actual name of the song, I just remember Red Moon, Red Moon.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend is a pilot. That might be, I've just been like, you know, indoctrinated into that one.
The problem with My Boyfriend is a Pilot that I don't really like the Q the onomatopoeia that she does for the the aircraft flying around, right? I don't like that part.
I mean, it's cute. It's just that
Yeah.
there's not a lot that I like about her other songs. So it's like finding the good bits in the stuff that I just don't appreciate. It's more though that I'm trying. And like I said, she's like the Nickelback of anime singers in that she's got one hit that plays on the radio for 40 years. This is where the title card would be if we were watching the movie. I also think the movie and the TV show are almost different eras of sci-fi concepts for the Macross. The movie depiction of the Macross itself looks more, I would almost say, like 50s to 60s sci-fi. It's bulbous, it's got all of these sensor platforms everywhere, you're filled with antennas all over the place. If you go back to 50s and 60s sci-fi art, it's that kind of depiction, say like Terran Trade Authority and whatnot. Versus I feel like the TV show was more 70s. It felt more like a streamlined ship. Obviously it was a big old bulky ass thing, but it didn't have all those accoutrements. Okay, that was weird World War I marching scene, I feel like.
Yeah, because this is about soldiers going to war, so...
Okay, well, here's the problem with not having the English translation on screen. Is I'm just guessing.
Also, I think it's Space War 1 to World War 1, you know?
Yeah, you know, that obvious translation. Pillboys equals Valkyries. Duh, it's obvious. Also, where are we? Is this Manchuria?
I hope not.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't make sense for Japan to be showing that in an animated movie. Deny everything.
That's things we don't talk about.
Well, I just don't know. I haven't seen that much ground footage of Japanese soldiers. Like,
I don't think they were supposed to be Japanese soldiers at all, just soldiers. Basically.
They didn't look like again, British pillboys or anything I'm familiar with, so I just assumed it has to be Japanese because this is a Japanese film.
And those are World War II B-24 bombers, so...
Were they? I thought I was seeing Zeros. Because I thought I was seeing fighter planes in formation, not bombers.
Those are bombers.
Well, I have some not saying things in line with what you're... Like, when I'm talking and I finish my sentence, we're like 30 seconds past the scene I'm talking about, and there's a new scene. I honestly also don't remember this song. This was pointless. Don't intersperse it with his other death. Like, here, we'll show you Rick dying in the movie while he's also playing the guitar. Roy. Sorry, I don't know why I even called him Rick. I haven't seen Robotech. I mean, I didn't call him Rick. I called Roy Rick, which isn't even so many levels of wrong.
Because they don't change the name in the other anime.
Well, let's be fair. Fairness for fairness' sake, Rick Hunter is just a cool name.
I mean, it is.
It just sticks in your head. Also, it doesn't make sense. Well, never mind. That's not what they're going for. My brain went off in a random direction. Boy, I sure hope I'll be able to identify whatever added scenes they throw in. And I'm sure hoping the added scenes aren't just the real-life soldiers. Or the balloons. God forbid if it's the balloons.
They are doing a lot of very fast cuts between the movie and the TV series. Like,
Well, they have to, really. Because one, they're changing aspect ratios, which means that they have to enlarge the size of the TV show to fit the... So, you know, you're going to get real blurry images if they focus for too long. Plus the whole transparency layer that they're doing with it.
I think this is an original song. At least I don't remember it from the original.
Well, I think there would probably be more animation if it was from the TV show. They would show us the scenes that it would attach to.
Yeah, this seems to be like either a sketchbook or, you know...
I don't know. I kind
Probably
of saw a
some-
dress on the floor, and I'm trying to figure out what the implying thing about it was.
I think this is supposed to be her and her dreams, right? Of being a star when she was a little girl.
An English translation would really help.
I'm going by the images.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it would really help. I mean, obviously, I can see there's a child on the screen. She was in bed with a little teddy bear before, which apparently was right next to the window. One assumes this is in Chinatown. Min May lost me. She's the kind of kid that apparently collects clown stuff.
Oh, that is
This
so
is-
familiar.
It doesn't sound familiar to me at all. I was about to say I like it though. I don't remember it, but I like it.
Yeah, this is the You Remember Love song.
Oh, well, maybe it does get into the top 4 then. Maybe because when we heard it in the movie, it was nearest to the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had to decode it from the 2 different slips of information.
Now, remembering what's interesting from the movie that they said, oh, this song that was so important was just a popular song about 10,000 years ago or something like
I
that.
think it was
when they-
50,000 or 500,000. 50,000 probably.
Yeah, 50,000 years, whenever the protoculture was on Earth, you know. That's a lot of very expensive coffee right there going to waste.
They also kind of ruined Golg a little bit by showing that he was still collecting culture shit and still ready to destroy everybody. Well, remember, Golg had the other half of the amulet, as it were. You
Yeah.
know? Which means he's like, to always destroy culture when you encounter it, except for my precious. Just a weirdo, Golg.
Well, I think that's shorthand for when he was talking in the original series and told Rita and the others about their origins, right? Like, if I tell you this and you spread it around, I'll have to kill you, basically. You know?
Well, the difference, I think, is that he wasn't, like, collecting the shit in the TV show, but he was still just actively watching it in his free time, which is, like, you know, what infects everybody. Macross is the peace. That's just a weird one too. Macross is the peace version of Pontypool. Or Pontypool is a zombie thing of the same concept. See, I would like Min-May's movie costumes, but in the TV show, where they would be brighter and they would stand out, and I'd be able to see them with more clarity.
Wow, this has English and Spanish mixed in, I guess. They throw in some Spanish subtitles there.
I mean, why not? Hit every audience. Spell ordinary with an I while you're at it. I mean, to replace the Y, obviously I know ordinary has an I in it.
Now that animation, that running animation was kind of weird. Like, he's like...
I mean, to be fair, even as clip shows go, this is a pretty good send-off, considering that this is the last we're going to see of SDF Macross. We did 36 episodes of a show. We did 2 hours of a movie. Even though there was clip shows in the show. And considering predominantly beyond the lore and the fighting, Macross basically was a love story. Calling it "Do You Remember Love?" I mean, the movie maybe I would probably would have called this "Do You Remember Love?" Because this is just a "Do you remember everything we've been through?" in every version. Obviously, I wouldn't call the movie Flashback 2012. That would make no sense.
No, because it would be years later. So yeah, it would be. It should be Flashback 2009.
I don't even know what I would call the movie actually. The
Macross the movie?
Macross, can you imagine? What if things happened this way? Can you imagine? Well, because I still have to have like the same kind of convention of "Do you remember love?" Something that speaks about the concept or the theme of what's going on, while at the same time being that sort of weird way that some Japanese animes and movies are named to tell you everything about what happens in them.
Yeah.
Somebody's really getting all their money's worth out of the glitter effect. Oh, back to the soldiers in the "Do You Remember Love" song. I think they may have run out of budget to make their clip show.
But considering how pictures are supposed to be the cheapest things on TV.
That's why Phantasm was just a good clip show, even though it wasn't really one. Because it's basically, hey, let's reimagine. It was a reimagine everything from a weird nightmare perspective.
Oh, from Hikaru's perspective, basically.
Well, you had Britai, oh shit, I've already forgotten the character I hate's name. For some reason.
Yeah, Kaifun.
Kaifun. You had Britai Kaifun merged together. It was a nightmare dreamscape. I've had it in me. I'd have my artist redraw me as Britai Kaifun just for the nightmare material. Who's your favorite character? Kritai.
Why not Roy? It's easier to do it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I love Roy, but the fact is he's dead now. Force Ghost Roy. That's us. The movie's over. Time to go home. I legit thought we were about to get the added material, which I feel like we are, right? This is it?
Yes, this is added material, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, I just mean... Well, we could not keep the background tracking, could we? Is she older, or is she just the outfit?
I think a little bit of both. Remember, this is 2012, so this is her after 3 years, after the war.
Yeah, but we already had a time jump. The entire show after 27 was 3 years later.
Yeah, remember this is Watch Flashback to 2012. So yeah.
It's hard to flash back to 2012, but we just left 2012. I mean, he certainly does look older, though. I guess. Hey, this is where this is where the flashback started. I feel like you could create like an infinite loop out of that. I'm gonna say it now. Min-Mei looks better in jeans.
I like that she has her own I was gonna say mammogram, but what's the name of when you put the letters on stuff, your own stuff, like shirts?
I feel like I know, and now I can think it's a mammogram. Also,
Yeah.
before I start trying to think of what you're talking, monogram.
Monogram.
She has her own monogram.
So she has
thing.
monogram on her clothing.
Mega Road.
On her. Yeah.
Also, she's a fan of the Doobie Brothers. Sorry, that's what I wanted to point out because it was a poster on her ceiling. Was that Captain Me? Oh, it has to be Captain Me. She's a captain. I already know this. Is that supposed to be somebody we knew?
No, that's supposed to be her.
No, the person walking up her on the bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're focusing on her, but we know she's on the ship that the person's watching take off. So who is that?
I think she's supposed to be her, kind of looking at the launch and.
But she's on the launch.
You know.
We saw her
I
on
know.
the ship.
I know.
Well, I guess it's not impossible that we could see them again, since they'd just be out there, right? However, I guess it doesn't. Never mind. Can't talk about that.
Well, I can when we're done with this, because
Well,
I'll explain
no,
something
again.
that I've been trying to.
No spoiler shit. Remember,
No, it's not spoiler because.
telling me stuff I don't know
It-
is technically a spoiler.
Well, it's only a spoiler if you're if you're going to see it somewhere else.
Okay, this also doesn't finally explain though. Zentradi ships are still there. Unless it's from the movie, in which case it doesn't make any sense. Never mind, it's from the movie. You only had to show me the worst versions of Britai and Fulmo. Quick, somebody get Star Fox. He's about to attack us. If this is about to be, if this is about to be credits with music over it, that is the dumbest thing. You can't have a 30-minute music video and then do credits over music. That's uncreative to the extreme. So yeah.
You want me to tell you? Don't want to tell you.
I don't. Off of the concept
Because
of
somebody in the comments is gonna say it anyway.
Well, here's the problem. There is that I'm the one who reads the comments. I don't think so, because remember, well, one, we don't get much Patreon comments about this, which is where this is gonna hit first. We are gonna be well past Macross 7 by the time this hits YouTube.
Yeah, but in a way, it doesn't spoil anything.
It's if you're giving me knowledge the show has not given me yet, that is a spoiler.
Okay.
Now, if we get to whatever happens and I miss it, or it needs explaining when we get there, let me know then. but
Well,
not
in a
now.
way, it has already happened.
Wait, you mean the Mega Road where they take off into space?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that happen. I even said, "Hey, Mega Road." So I didn't
But
miss it.
there's an additional aspect to why that is important.
Hey, more music. Oh, I guess harmony.
Yeah, that was Flashback 2012.
So are you saying that the show is never going to tell me what you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why the show is never going to tell me, or are you saying it's something you have to infer to be able to tell?
No, because it's a word of God thing. You know what a word of God is, right?
Yeah, the creator says it. Yeah, I know. I handle that a bunch of times with like Gundam and everything. Or I guess Witch from Mercury, where there's like people in the community will argue about something, and I'll say, "Look, the guy who wrote the thing says this is true. You can't argue." Well, here's the problem. Then you get into an argument of authorial intent versus the material, and that can be a thing too. Because I often get into that space with Orson Scott Card, who is a fucking asshole, but I don't have a problem with Ender's Game. Like, Orson Scott Card is homophobic.
Yeah.
Ender's Game has Bean, which I believe to be written as basically a gay guy who is a good character. He's like a great character, and it's like, how did this homophobic guy write a great gay character? So it's like, I don't know. That's definitely the difference between authorial intent and the author. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that often comes up in things like this where there is wiggle room for interpretation in some things, and then others are not. Again, biggest example coming to mind is Witch from Mercury. The two main characters end up married together, and everyone's like, or Bondi specifically, edits the editorials to make it so, oh, that's up to your interpretation. Obviously, we're not going to say the two characters in our show was gay. They're wearing wedding rings. They're talking about their lives together. Their sister, who's now a doll, by the way, not going to explain that, is also calling you your sister-in-law. You fucking got married. Everyone.
Wasn't that the whole, kind of the premise of the whole show from the very beginning?
It's a love story, but there's a bunch of defenders for Ghoul, who is the main he's one of the main male characters who had a love story with the main character, but then he even backs off so that everything can happen as it happens. I don't know. I don't know where your wiggle room for interpretation is, but I've literally had to shut down people in our own community who wanted to argue about it. And I'm like, look, this is our community. We're saying it's like this. Don't argue or don't be here. Because I don't want this, like, what almost seems like a homophobic response to the show to suddenly just have a base here. I don't want to look over at the Discord and read this.
I get it. No, this is not that severe. It's just,
How big of a thing is it? Like, will I not enjoy the show as much not knowing it? I know it's weird playing 20 questions with information, but I really
okay, fine.
don't.
Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. At the end of the day, I don't think it really matters. It's a commentary on how the show will evolve in general terms, or this, the series, now the franchise. But it isn't anything specific to any one show.
I would say, because there's always the possibility you could just tell me after we get past it.
Well, in a way, we already did.
You're saying that, but I can't think of anything that you possibly could tell me. Okay, there's also the possibility that I already know accidentally, because it's impossible to get, like, watch orders of stuff without being exposed to, like, at least 2 or 3 sentences of, well, this happens after this happens. What the fuck did that happen? What is that? Hell, I've got screenshots of a thing will not be discussed for till tomorrow. that lists information that's really weird to put into context. Fucking tell me. Just tell me. I know It's disappointing if you don't tell me, and the audience has probably been baited for the last 10 minutes of us discussing what you couldn't tell me.
I mean, it's very simple. This is the last appearance of them in Macross.
Okay, I knew that.
Okay. And the reason why that is that a lot of people, I mean, when finally Macross became very popular in Japan and some other places, but particularly Japan, people started pestering Kamori-san, Shoji Kamori, about, hey, can we get more, more Ming-Mei, more of those shows? And he eventually said, no, we're done with them. I guess we got Macross Zero that has Roy on it, so there's that. But we don't see, there's no mention of Min-Mei or anything like that, right? We're going to do new characters. We're going to do new places. We're going to keep the themes, but we're not having the same characters show up again.
If Min-Mei was 15 during the show, and Macross Zero takes place... Oh, never mind, that was just a year before, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she'd
so
be like
14-year-old Min. Not as big of a difference if I was trying to think it was years before.
Yeah, no. We don't even hear about Rick. Well, Hikaru.
It's a cool name.
And
sorry,
cool name.
I even hate the name Rick, but Rick Hunter is just a fucking cool name.
Oh, the Flying Circus. Roy doesn't even mention any of that, right? In Macross Zero, if I remember correctly. Like he actually there's a whole back.
They do talk about.
No, he doesn't.
He does talk about something about his past. Nope, sorry, that is he was going to be a paleontologist, anthropologist.
Yeah, anthropologist with Ares.
Ares, that's why we had a whole conversation about how weird his backstory is. You know, he studied in college anthropology and then decided to join the circus.
And then joined the military after that.
No, he's already in the military. Anyway, go ahead.
And basically, the thing happens is after 4 years of them being in space, they make a road, the whole expedition disappears. Never to be heard from.
I know this too. Here's what I'm going to say. I have been exposed to enough supplementary spoiler material to know that the Macross disappears somewhere. Not the Macross. The Mega Road 01 disappears somewhere near the Galactic Center, never to be heard from again, except for a mysterious thing from Lady M, which might be Musa. So, I know. I've already been spoiled to that effect. There's one other spoiler here. I'll give this out now. Second spoiler I know. Not Serenome. What's Serename's sister?
The last name. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The last name will reappear.
No, not her last name. Specifically, her sister comes back. It's not there is. I know her last name comes back only for virtue of the Wikipedia organizing things in alphabetical order. But I think when I was making the thumbnails for Macross Zero, specifically her sister as a character comes back. So I know she survived as well. So I guess spoilers for you out there in TV land, but those are the two major things that I am aware of, and everything else I am desperately trying not to be spoiled for, because I had those two in my back pocket. I was trying not to share with you what I already knew, assuming that you already knew, so that it would at least appear new for me in whatever context I was going to be able to bring it up in.
Still, it's a good thing you haven't watched stuff that happens later, because that provides a lot of context to quote unquote spoilers. That's what happened.
I'm happy we spent 10 minutes dancing around a thing that I literally could tell you already. Like I said, I have that level of spoiler already in me, which is why I'm desperately trying not to be spoiled for anything else. I don't want to know more. I want the show to tell me more.
But now that we're going into the post era, I think stuff is going to get very interesting. And the thing I really want to get into is Macross 7, because I originally skipped it because of some visuals that I went like, oh, that just looked too stupid even for me.
Well, I mean, we're only 5 things away from it.
2?
No, we have four episodes of the OVA and the movie, right? Is that 5?
5.
I mean, unless there's something in the middle. Like I said, I'm constantly discovering new shit that chronologies are not listing. It's happening.
Yeah, no. It's the 4 episodes of the OVA, Macross plus the movie, which unlike If I remember correctly, unlike Do You Remember Love, it doesn't really change a lot. It actually is more like a compressed, the same story but compressed, and that won't be happening later on when we do see movies that change some things radically. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, I think I
I
mentioned
thought
it.
you were doing that.
I think
You
I
were-
mentioned it when it comes to like Gundam was my previous example where
Yeah.
they do add the Gundam movies add better animation and whatnot, but they'll also change slightly the things that don't matter. Like they'll add I'll go and say this, it doesn't matter. Um there is a what 3 episode thing where they go to a place, have like a thing there that happens and then
Oh, you
leave.
told me. Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about that
Yeah, and
off screen about
to save
Space Station.
time in the movie, we'll just have a conversation about why you can't be here and send you off. And it's like, okay, this is
It's
annoying to
more.
me, but I can understand it.
It's more of, oh, I thought you were this person in this version, but now you're doing this thing in that other version, kind of thing. That kind of thing.
Well, to me, it's
Like, oh wait,
minor because the having the episodes only involves a character who has a backstory that matters if you're into like the light novels and the manga. Like that character is awesome. He's cool. I love what he does in the show, but in the grand scope, he doesn't matter. So losing him from the movie doesn't change the story of the movie. They didn't do Operation British off screen, right? That was fucking insane from Do You Remember Love? By the way, text crawl, we killed everybody on Earth. What?
yeah, yeah. Again, I think one of the things about these, especially the movies, is that they're best enjoyed if you have knowledge of the series. They're good. I mean, I never really watched, as far as I'm concerned, a bad Macross movie. Even Do You Remember Love? We talk about all the issues when we watched it, but there's a lot of missing context if you haven't watched the series in which they're based on,
Well,
right?
I mean, they changed things, so it's like
Yeah.
it's not even like I'm not. They changed the order of events and then made things different. Like I'm not a big fan. Sorry, my brain has just escaped me. I'm gonna call them Zoltrons, Zentradi, and the Meltons. Is that what they call them in this
It's
one?
they simplified it from Centrati to Centron and Meltron.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't even mean that. I just meant the male Zentradi and the female Zentradi
Yeah,
being two
Centron
different.
are,
No, being two different
yeah,
factions.
exactly. That's what it
Instead
is.
of being one faction and having Supervision Army, who just we don't see or talk about in the
Yeah,
movie. I mean, so
at all.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like that concept. It's just not. I don't.
Now
It
I remember.
literally is everything that I talked about as a problem in the TV show. Then they did that in the movie, and I'm like, I see why they didn't do this in the TV show. This is worse.
Also, one of the very interesting things is that, well, we already talked about this, how they take elements, mostly visual elements from the movie, and they kept using them in future shows, right? It's not so much that, but because it's a propaganda movie. Because that was the spoiler part of the thing I was talking about. Is that Do You Remember Love was made in
Well, we
universe?
covered this before we ever started watching anything that
Yeah,
there was going to be stuff like in the universe of happening.
yeah,
Did you ever watch Gundam 00?
yes,
You know how in the beginning of the Gundam 00 movie, they're watching a movie in a movie theater, which is depicting events from in universe that never happened, which is basically the big bad from the first season fighting the big bad of the second season, and you're like, these people never came together. What is happening here? Why is everybody emoting more than they ever have in a television show before? It's like, oh, this is a movie in a movie, isn't it? And then
yeah.
5 minutes later, it's like they're walking out of a movie theater. Fucking knew it.
But the in-universe reason why the movie was made as a propaganda movie was because also in universe, Misa, Hikaru, and Minmay, especially Minmay, are these great heroes of Space War One. And since they disappeared and that was covered up, because that's not
They're all
public
dead.
knowledge.
You and
Uh,
Spacey never change.
and what they say, basically, the story is, oh, they're still out there exploring. Don't worry about it. They're doing their thing, so that's no problem. And also, let's recontextualize the war and not talk about the Supervision Army at all.
Well, here's the problem that also don't tell me anything about the Supervision Army at all. Just literally don't tell me because I don't know anything about them. So, well, actually, I do know from the show, but that there clearly was no Zentradi involved in the making of this movie. Because it literally puts them in the worst light. Like, yeah, no, we just showed up and fucking killed everybody. There wasn't, like, a long period where we started, like, learning about your culture. Like, there's no actualization of the Zentradi in this movie. Actually, no, can't bring that up.
Well, there's the Milia Janus love story, which
Sure,
is done in a
and
flash,
I kind of assume that Britai must have mentioned something to somebody, like, remember that I, like, tried to help everybody at the end. So Britai suddenly at the end of the movie is like, let's all turn around and help everybody out on the Macross.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when I was a good guy. Because, otherwise, it's literally, hey, we all just fucking showed up and killed y'all. What about it? There was a lot more nuance. Remember all those days, months of negotiation that we went through about determining if we were actually a species together? And then, like, we had a whole infighting thing amongst ourselves where we, like, wanted to join you, but we weren't sure about... Britai was like, make sure Quamzim dies in the first act. That asshole. I'm just saying, it does not feel like it's an in-universe propaganda movie. It is kind of racist towards the Zentradi.
Yeah. Well, that's something that we will probably see again.
I mean, I guess to some extent, I would imagine there's people in the world who are like, yeah, you can be racist against Zentradi. They killed 9 billion of us. Yeah, but no. I mean, seriously, I can't even imagine, like, 40 years after this getting over that. People will be still horribly... I don't know. Depends on how many people are alive in 40 years. I mean, even if you had a massive repopulation effort, I don't think you'd have enough to even cover one planet full of people.
Yeah, I think that they talk about that in future series.
Well, we've got how many people? Like, what? Maybe 70,000 left? Depends on how many people get killed by Quamzim in his final attack on them. Well, no, not that many people are still living on the Macross when Quamzim attacks the last time. So, say maybe 70,000, give or take. Then 3 years of people getting back together, which at most you're thinking, like, what? If everybody, so maybe a little over 100,000 at that point, because that's at least, I mean, assuming not everybody's having a baby every year. Maybe they are. Maybe there's maybe the UN, maybe Commander-in-Chief Global's like, everyone have babies. It feels like one of those sci-fi things. Like Global will be staring out the window and people will be having a serious conversation. Did this happen in Macross?
What?
That people are having a serious conversation and he's just looking out a window at two people running along having a good time. They gotta start having babies.
No, that doesn't happen.
That's Battlestar Galactica. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Where they're having a serious conversation and just all of a sudden Adama's like, they gotta start having babies. Like, what?
That doesn't happen, but stuff happens.
I'm just saying, after 3 years, I think a realistic expectation would be 70,000 goes to 100,000. But that's still a lot of babies for a very few number of people to be taken care of. So, I don't know. Even with that rate of expansion, we would be far off from billions. Like, if we started, like, I don't know, randomly colonizing worlds, there would be a very small population in every colony. Almost, like, tiny.
I guess this is kind of also a spoiler a little bit. Well, I think they do talk about it in Macross Plus, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd have to also consider how many Zentradi join our side, which could just be an infinite number, because we don't know how many Zentradi there were that joined us originally, plus how many Zentradi we can just play a Walkman at that would just join us. It's crazy how easy the Zentradi are, just a trick. At some point, you think they'd have a commander to be like, turn your radios off. Just like all the time. God, if only we had like invented point-to-point laser transmissions, all of our problems would be solved. Don't listen to anybody unless they fly in on a ship and hand you like a handwritten letter. I don't know. I think I would be the best Centrati leader because I would just like, cut everyone's ears off. I don't know, man. There's so many loopholes, not loopholes. There's so many plot holes in Macross that even a movie and a television show couldn't solve with this whole Zentradi thing. Their best solution was make the women our enemies, which is very, this was written by a man. Feels like. You know how I can tell?
Mm-hmm.
The men won.
Yeah.
Well, who's the first person that dies in the war between the men and the women? The women leader.
Yeah, Lapless, yeah.
Yeah, then Gold gets his. That's a fantasy. The man came last. I think we should probably wrap up. I don't feel like I'm going to get any better from here on out.
Nope.
So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been the Stoneface Reactions. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?